Introducing Trait Predictor, the cutting-edge tool that takes DNA analysis to the next level. Trait Predictor is a lightweight, executable application that analyzes your DNA file. It works with any file in microarray sequence format, which includes the typical output files of MyHeritage, 23andMe, and AncestryDNA. With Trait Predictor, you can unlock a wealth of information about your traits and health. Trait Predictor uses advanced algorithms to analyze your genetic data and provide personalized insights into your physical characteristics, such as eye color, hair color, and even propensity for certain diseases. With this innovative tool, you can better understand your genetic makeup and make informed decisions about your health and lifestyle. The report generated by Trait Predictor can be easily shared with your friends and family in its entirety, as it is a small HTML file. There is currently no other tool that goes as far in depth in assessing the HLA and dopamine receptor genes. Trait Predictor Executable is currently on sale. For $20, you can purchase the executable tool. The executable will allow you to generate an infinite number of reports.
Alright, y'all. Trait Predictor version 14 is out. It is currently July 16th, 2024, and Trait Predictor version 14 is out. I just released it on itch. Big update. So here's some history of Trait Predictor in case you aren't familiar with what I do here. Maybe this is the first video you see on my channel. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of history of what I've been doing. Starting in October 2023, so almost a year ago, this was 8 months ago, I released the initial version of GitHub of Trait Predictor on GitHub pages. This was version 0. And that initial version that I released on GitHub pages was very, very, very different from what Trait Predictor looks like now. Then October 29th of 2023, I remember this date because it's on YouTube. I embedded Trait Predictor in Megagenics, which was a project that I worked on with somebody else, but that other person bailed on me, so I ended up being there myself, and I kind of let it go. That Trait Predictor that was embedded on Megagenics only had miscellaneous myopia, Alzheimer's, hemochromatosis, and mental health sections, so it was much different, once again, from what Trait Predictor is nowadays. Very different program, very different web app. It was a web app back then. Now it's a program. Now it's an executable. But back then in October, it was a web application. In early November 2023, I added polygenic risk scores page to Trait Predictor, and that's when it really started to take off. I started to put more effort into it. I decided that I might be using this Trait Predictor as kind of a tool to help me make videos. I figured that it would be easier for me to run samples through a tool like that and just record my reaction to its results rather than go and upload it to CodeGen and take screenshots and arrange all that into a video series using some kind of a video editor. So I figured it would be easier for me to just develop this Trait Predictor and record my reactions, which is what I do now. Nowadays, when I record my videos, all I do is I run a sample through my Trait Predictor and I record my reactions to the sample. So that's essentially what I accomplished over time. But that's what I wanted to do back then. In early December 2023, I added eye color, and subsequently, after a couple of weeks, at first I only added the eye color predictions, and it was only HERC2 OCA2 based, so it was based on OCA2 and HERC2 genotypes. But then I decided I'm going to add some more phenotypes. I'm going to add more genes, and I'm going to add more phenotypes. And subsequently, I added the entire phenotype prediction from Nashakot onto my Trait Predictor web application. In early January of 2024, the price for Trait Predictor web application was $10, so it moved on from being free to costing $10. As it got better, I decided that I'm gonna start charging money for it. Of course, something that is better, something that is actually good, and it was getting good, should be bringing me a little bit of money because I put a lot of effort into it. Then February 3, 2024, I transitioned it from web app to executable, and the price was now $13. So those are the early days of Trait Predictor. Now we're moving on to history of Trait Predictor part 2. And I don't really remember what was going on before V9. I don't really have such good memory, but V9, that is an update that happened in late March. I added biomarkers panel, DDC panel, DDC gene panel has to do with dopamine transport, cardiovascular disease panel, but no polygenic panel for it yet, and biotraits and blood groups. Very big update was adding the blood groups. I actually did a separate research into the genetics of blood groups because I couldn't find much data on it online. So I did. I went on OpenSNP. There was a couple of pages on OpenSNP where people would post their raw DNA data and their blood groups. So I did a research study there, and that's what I used to build my blood type predictor. Version 10, early April, I added phenotype oracles as a separate subwindow and some more biomarkers. So this is the development of Trait Predictor into what it is now, and now it is version 14. So there's been a lot of updates since then. Then version 12 in early May, I added polygenic panels for DRD2, OXTR, COMT, MAOA, and MAOB, and some other genes. So when I say COMT, MAOA, and MAOB, that really refers to Warrior versus Warrior panels and some other genes, and now it displays risk variants. What it means when I say displays risk variants, it might be difficult to understand what that means, but let me explain to you what that means. So let's go ahead and look, for example, at Cheddarman's results here, and let's look at polygenic risk scores. So, for example, here it says no risk variants found in the file. That's what it means, because not only does it say the risk score, but it also says no risk variants found in the file. And for example, here it says the risk score, but it also says the risk variants that were found in the file. So there is common risk variants here, here, and here. So that was the update that came around in version 12, where it displays risk variants. That was a big update on my part. Version 13, I added kidney stones risk scores, hemoglobin E disease, new cancers, various glaucomas, AMD, cataracts, rheumatoid arthritis, and more. And I also added lactose persistence polygenic panel. And now finally version 14, which was released in July 15th, added polygenic panels for cardiovascular disease, separate subwindow for HLA gene, more SNPs for facial morphology oracle, which affects phenotype prediction, and I added much more drug response SNPs. And finally, this is it. This is the update that you are now going to see. Make sure you check out the official website for Trait Predictor. There is links to see the sample results. There is my result right here. There is the result of a modern Egyptian. This is a person who bought my services and consented to me publishing them online. It's anonymous. Nobody knows who it is, but he consented to me publishing his results online. And there is also the results of Cheddarman, which is a combined kit. So I also write the formats, the file formats of the samples, because it would help you to know what kind of SNPs you would have in your file. So, for example, if you have my heritage file, your result will probably look similar to mine. So this is what my result looks like. There's quite a lot of data in here, a lot of data actually in here. And if you have a MyHeritage file, that's probably what your result will look like. If you look at polygenic risk scores, that's the polygenic risk scores page here. So essentially, this is the update right now, and 5 future updates and sale information. Future updates for Trait Predictor are still to come. Areas to improve in are facial morphology oracle. By the way, I did mention that I added a couple new SNPs for the facial morphology oracle, but I still will be adding some more. So the work is far from over. There is still going to be so much more SNPs for facial morphology oracle being added in the future. Age-related macular degeneration panel is going to be changed a little bit as well, because I don't really like it so much. I think it's a little bit misleading sometimes. Rare diseases and traits panel will be stuff will be added there as well, because I think it's a little bit small currently. I think so much more stuff can be added there. Now, in regards to the sale, I will end it whenever I see that people lose interest in buying my tool. This might be in a week or in 2 weeks. Usually with sales, the interest dies down after a couple of days, but I don't have the foresight to tell you exactly when this will happen, but I can make you a promise that the sale will last until at least July 23rd. So after July 23rd, I cannot promise you that the sale will continue. If people keep buying my Trait Predictor at $20, then the sale will continue, of course, because I want people to keep buying my stuff. But if the interest dies down and if nobody buys, then, I guess the sale will end at that point. Well, thanks for watching my video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and there will be no more videos today. That's it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.